and welcome to Good Games Spawn Point, the show for younger gamers by gamers. I'm Bajo.
And I'm Hex.
And I am D.A.R.R.E.N.
Coming up in the show, that blue-skinned, blazing fast hedgehog makes a return in Sonic the Lost World.
I've always wondered, Darren, how fast can a real-life hedgehog actually go?
Well, a little under 20 kilometres an hour, Bajo. That's about half the speed of an African elephant, but still twice as fast as the average human.
You know, I think it's Sonic's red shoes that make him go super fast.
Ah, yes, it is true that red things do go faster. Also on the show, the time-shifting realities of Nowhere Boys, the fifth boy.
Motion sickness, Darren? Has hopping the time stream ever made you robo-spew?
Negative.
I'm going to read the news.
Okay.
Negative.
That's a fib, Darren. I see you spew all the time.
Vid or it didn't happen.
Hex here with all the news from around the gaming world. Gamers have helped to solve a 10-year-old medical puzzle, which is a potential key to finding the cure for HIV. Scientists from the University of Washington sent a virtual 3D model of the MPMV retroviral protein to the online game Fold It. Fold It players took just 10 days to find the optimal way to fold the MPMV protein, helping scientists to understand it and potentially find a way to attack it. Very impressive. Researchers in Australia and Germany have conducted a study which found players of certain types of games exhibit a higher tolerance to pain and a greater indifference to other people's suffering. The study tasked a variety of gamers to remove paperclips from ice-cold water. It found that those who play immersive games, such as RPGs, could remove significantly more paperclips than those who played less immersive games. They hypothesized that this was due to immersed players behaving like automaton-like avatars. My theory is that RPG players just love to loot.
You're imagining things,
your
Bajo.
spew?
It was probably one of your cats.
Your spew everywhere. All right, time to review Nowhere Boys, the fifth boy. If you've seen the new ABC 3 TV show, then you'll know it's about 4 teenagers who are mysteriously teleported into an alternate reality.
Dad? Where are you?
In the game, you're the fifth boy who's trapped between worlds in a weird dimension called negative space. From here, he can only see the real world through tears in reality.
They would not appear without reason. The connection between you must be strong.
I love the concept of this alternate world. What is that?
Oh, it's obviously a tear in the fabric of time and space. Probably a result of me tinkering with my nuclear juicer this morning.
Darren, that sounds pretty exciting. Let's go!
Okay.
I wouldn't travel between dimensions without the proper equipment.
Hex, it's a new dimension. Can you smell it?
Yeah, well, hang on, this looks like our office.
Oh, yeah. And there's Goose. And there's Darren. How did Darren get up here so quick?
Hi, Darren.
No more autographs today, sorry. Oh, are you the new work experience candidates? Welcome to the office of the D.A.R.R.E.N. and Goose Show. You may start by cleaning up the games.
Yes, very funny, Darren.
Hey, new work experience. What are your names?
We're Bajo and Hex, obviously.
Those are weird names. All right, guys, the games room is just through there, and I take a latte with 2 sugars. Cheers.
Bajo, something's not right here. Look, we're not in the photo. You know what that means?
We need new posters.
No, in this reality, we don't work here. We don't even host Spawn Point.
Guys, can you keep it down? And that room's not going to clean itself, so off your pop.
Let's just go.
Okay, Goose, back to our plans for the SingStar ABBA Opera House Spectacular.
Yes.
Now, I think I should arrive by flying under the harbour bridge.
Marvellous, Darren. Tony will be pleased with that.
Well, look, this may be another dimension, Bajo, but they still got Nowhere Boys set up on the PC over there, so I say we just do our review anyway.
Sounds good, Hex.
Wow. Everything's different. I don't remember any of this.
Nowhere Boys opens with you controlling the fifth boy as he tries to figure out why he's trapped in this negative space dimension. This is a free-to-play browser game, so the visuals are pretty basic, but I was impressed with how well it plays. There's mysterious darkness trying to erase the boy, so you'll spend a fair bit of time running for your life, leaping over gaps, and sliding under obstacles. That was pretty tough.
Yeah, but a bit further in you get some help from this spirit guide.
My talisman. It is incomplete. Its crystal shards have been cast throughout negative space.
How good was it hearing natural Aussie accents in a game? She shows you how to use a magical talisman that lets you control the elements. Earth power lets you fling boulders at enemies. You can also control water to make frozen platforms to jump on and to solve some puzzles.
I liked the air element because it lets you do super jumps like this. We should point out that we're playing the full game, but it is only being released chapter by chapter in line with episodes from the TV show, which brings me to one of the cleverest things about this game. As you explore the levels, you'll see a lot of these dimensional tears. They show characters from the TV show, but what's really cool is you're able to pass objects to them through these tears. And then you'll see that object show up in the next episode of the show.
That's the lamp I just had.
Yeah, that is really cool. And mostly I think they did a really good job with this game, but there are a few annoyances. They let you super jump around all these floating islands, which is really fun until they spoilt it with a bunch of frustrating wind gusts. Nobody with superpowers wants to stand around watching clouds to figure out a safe time to jump. Plus, I spent a while lost in dark tunnels because the game kept respawning me there, even though I didn't have the lantern that I needed yet.
And some of the dialogue is pretty cheesy.
That's it. I am never eating honey again.
Yeah, it's not great compared to the TV show, which has quite good writing. These are all minor issues though, especially for a free-to-play browser game. It's not long either, so it doesn't feel like it drags. I enjoyed it. I'm giving it 7.
I'm giving it an extra half a point for the super jump, 7.5 from me.
Bajo, look, another tear. That might take us back to our own dimension.
Oh.
I hope so.
Let's get out of here, Hex.
Yeah.
Well, while those two are frolicking around in some other dimension, I might go off on an adventure. Around the world! Blast off! Off I go! Hello, and welcome to Gaming Around the World with me, Darren. Today, let's explore Russia. Ah, Mother Russia, a country so massive it has 9 time zones. And it's not just a snowy landscape far away at the top of the world where people wear 30 hats and dance in a squat either. No, Russia is a hive of game development and a home to some of the most passionate gamers in the world. With a population of over 140 million people, that's a lot of multiplayer matchups. But life isn't easy as a Russian gamer. That's because console games are super expensive over there. The average game in the capital of Moscow costs 2,700 rubles, which is almost a full week's wage for many Russians. This has turned millions of gamers in Russia to piracy. The video game black market is big business, with pirates illegally getting their hands on console games long before retail shops. But despite all this cybercrime, developers can still make money in Russia, thanks to the phenomenon of free-to-play PC gaming. The online game World of Tanks has managed to reach 40 million registered users in Russia. That's almost double the number of people in all of Australia. Ooh. Back in the days of the Soviet Union, Russia even once had its own unique arcade games, which were manufactured in secret military factories. These old machines are now celebrated for all time in the Museum of Soviet Arcade Machines in Moscow. One of Russia's first ever computer programs was the Kaiser chess program, which became the first world computer chess champion in 1974. But Russia's most obvious gaming achievement is the creation of one of history's greatest games, Tetris. Tetris is a puzzle game in which all you have to do is rotate and fit those varying-shaped tetrominos. But with its infinite levels of faster-falling blocks, once you start, it's hard to stop. Russia has also been an inspiration for many a game developer. One of the greatest fighting game characters ever, the mighty Zangief from Street Fighter, is a red-blooded Russian wrestler.
Zangief is the best!
The Il-2 Sturmovik is not just a sturdy Soviet fighter plane, but a superb PC flight simulator. And the Avengers Black Widow is a Russian super spy you don't want to cross. Russia, the country to send the first human to outer space in 1961, and a nation that still stuns the world with its games.
That dimension was horrible.
Oh yes, it was like some sort of crazy nightmare.
Well, there's no time to dwell on it now. You two have to go to the Ask Good Game desk. Chop chop, off you go.
Okay, let's get straight into these questions,
Yes.
and we'll start with this one from Anissa, who is in Boredomville, Queensland.
Hex, check it out. Look how much I can balance on my head. Whoa! Oh. Took me 3 hours. Hey, Gigi. I would like to know which new console to get. I know this is a big ask, but I broke my ankle and don't have much to do at home, so thinking of getting new console. Can you give me the details on which is better, Xbox One or PS4? Cause a lot of info is going around and Xbox SEP changing info, and I'm confused, so please, what are they offering so I can get an idea of what I may buy? Please help, love your show.
Well, sorry to hear you broke your ankle, Anissa. Hopefully that heals up really soon. But, Badge, it's pretty crazy to think that in just a couple of weeks we'll actually have our hands on 2 brand new consoles. It feels like only yesterday we were just guessing and speculating about them, but now they're almost here.
I'm so excited. You know how excited I am?
Yeah.
I'm so excited that when I think about it, my glasses fall off. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, they didn't that time, but normally they fall off.
Maybe if you move your head back and forth a lot.
The point is I'm excited, and if you think about it, we've been playing on the 360 and the PS3 and Wii since 2006, and that's a whole generation of spawnings out there who have never known a world without them.
So it's not surprising that there's heaps of you out there asking about which new console is the better one and which one you should get. But as we've always said with that kind of question, there really isn't a simple answer.
Yes, there are a lot of things to consider when deciding which one to get, but there are 2 simple rules that I think pretty much override everything else. Firstly, which console will your friends be playing on? And secondly, which console has the exclusive games that you want?
Yeah, those really are the questions you have to ask, since both consoles are really quite similar. They both have similar specs, both charge a subscription for online multiplayer, neither is backwards compatible, both have Blu-ray drives, both have second screen mobile apps, and both will let you record and share video.
But each one does do a few unique things worth considering. On the Xbox side of things, I think its most unique feature is probably the HDMI in port, which will let you connect other devices to it. I'm not sure how many people will use that, but I guess it's good if you don't have many spare HDMI ports or want to plug in a cable box and watch TV through it. And also the controller has rumble in the triggers now, and it's quite good, I quite like it. It also comes with improved Connect, whether you want it or not.
As for the PS4, I think remote play is probably the most unique feature, which means if you own a Vita handheld and have a solid internet connection, then you can play your PS4 games while you're away from home. If it works, it's potentially a really cool feature. Also, the PS4 controller has a touchpad and a little sensor light like the Move on it now.
Oh, yeah. I think they're both looking like solid consoles no matter which one you get. You'll be a pretty happy gamer, I think. Hopefully some of that helps you decide.
Although, to make things even tougher, there is, of course, another option, as Daniel from Melbourne, Victoria, asks. Ever since I was 5, I was always playing the PS3, but after playing some Xbox and Wii, I really wanted to get a new console. The console I had in mind was the Wii U. I wanted to get this for Christmas, but my parents say that it's too expensive, so could you tell how the Wii U sets it apart from the PS3? And could you name some of the exclusive titles? Please answer, this has been really bugging me. After E3, when seeing gameplay of Watch Dogs, do you think it would be worth it? Thanks for your trouble. Well, Daniel, your grown-ups are right. Buying any new console is expensive, but at least the Wii U is a little bit cheaper than the PS4 or the Xbox One.
True. As for what sets it apart from the PS3, well, it's about on par in terms of graphical power, maybe slightly more powerful, but the main difference is that the Wii U has a touchscreen gamepad. Some games use both screens at once, and it also lets you play a lot of games without needing the TV. And if you're constantly getting kicked off the TV so other people can watch it, then that's a great feature to have.
And because it's been out for a while, it's got a pretty decent library of exclusive games already. There's The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, Pikmin 3, and Lego City, to name a few. And the new Super Mario 3D World is due out before the end of the year, which is looking great.
And next year, Nintendo has promised Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, the new Super Smash Bros., Mario Kart 8, Yarn Yoshi, and of course there's the big new Zelda game in the works, which we know nothing about.
As for Watch Dogs, well, that's quite a mature game, so we wouldn't recommend that one for spawnlings. But speaking of Zelda games and exclusives, we have this one from Lord Matthew, who is in Perth, Western Australia.
Lord Matthew!
What is that?
That's the Lord greeting. Hey guys, love the show, and I'm desperate for you to answer, so please answer! This is like the 53rd question. Okay, so I have just finished the Zelda Skyward Sword game on the Wii, and I'm wondering which Zelda game should I get next for the PS3, because I'm getting a PS3 for Christmas. So exiting. So which one should I get? Can be either G, PG, or M. Thanks. PS. Is Need for Speed Rivals coming on the PS3, and will you review it? PPS, Bajo do these. Hey! Ha! Ha! Now you try Hex. Haha, funny. Bye, Lord Matthew out. Well, Lord Matthew, as we just mentioned, the Zelda games are very much exclusive to Nintendo consoles, so you'll never play one on the PS3, we're sorry to say.
But there's a couple of games that could substitute quite nicely. Probably the closest thing to a Zelda game on PS3 is 3D Dot Game Heroes, which takes a lot of inspirations from older Zelda games. Other than that, Okami is actually a little Zelda-esque as well, and you can get the HD remake of that for the PS3.
And yes, Need for Speed Rivals is coming to PS3 as well as just about every console, and we'll definitely review it. Fingers crossed it's good, Hex. I do like Need for Speed games.
But moving on to this one now from Kerry Perry Chicken, who is in Australian Paris, outside Australia.
Australian Paris outside Australia? Does that make sense?
Well, if Paris is the capital of France, Paris is the capital of French Perth, but then how is that outside Australia?
Because it's like little Chinatown. It's little Paris it's where you go to Paris and you can see French Perth within Paris, so you know what French Perth is like over in French Perth. Makes perfect sense.
Hey GGSP, I'm a huge fan of your show, but something has been bugging me. I love playing Minecraft, although something has come up that kind of makes Minecraft lose its appeal for me. Enderman. He's so scary. I'm terrified of him. Do you have any tips on how to remove Enderman, protect yourself from Enderman, or make Enderman seem not scary? Please help, or I will play less Minecraft. P.S. Bajo is awesome.
Heck, sorry, I just missed the last part of that question. Could you just read that last part out again? Last part? After the PS?
It's
Yes,
Bajo is awesome.
All right, just making sure we've got that on record. Well, thanks, Kerry Perry Chicken. Those Endermen can be pretty creepy. Your best defense against them, though, is to just leave them alone. They'll only ever get aggressive if you look directly at them.
But in the event that your cursor does brush over one and you get their attention, the only thing you can really do is be prepared. They've got a lot of hit points and teleport all over the place, making them very tricky to fight.
But if you've got a decent sword and a good set of armor, preferably all made out of diamond, then you should be able to withstand the fight. And of course, keep some food on you to restore your health.
But yeah, just remember that they'll leave you alone if you leave them alone, so they're harmless, really. Hopefully that takes some of the fright out of them for you. But while we're talking about Minecraft, I think we have time for just one more question, and it's from Dat Funky Lion, who is in Iceland and Cube, aka Ice Cube, which is in Queensland, apparently.
It's quite hot in Queensland. That doesn't seem like a very good place for an ice cube. Hey GGSP, okay, so I love Minecraft, but I don't have it. 2 questions. 1, where do I get it? I seriously don't know. And 2, my mum says that she most likely won't let me get it because her IT guy told her it is the worst game around for hacking. Help! I am at a loss! Shh, Hex, you are the best. Bajo, you are cool. And Darren, you are... Bajo, do these. Hex, do these. Thanks. See yas.
Well, Funky Lion, you can get Minecraft for PC from the game's official website, or for Xbox from the online games marketplace, or you can buy it on a disc from a shop, and of course you can get the Pocket Mobile Edition from your mobile's respective online store.
Well, as for it being bad for hacking, we've had personal Minecraft accounts for years now, and we've never been hacked. As far as we know, it isn't that big an issue, so I wouldn't worry about it too much.
But just make sure that you use the game's official website and don't let your parents give their credit card details to any dodgy looking sites. On that note, we're out of time, so if you'd like to ask us something, then you can of course do that right here. But now, back to the studio! Okay, Bajo, it's the moment you've been waiting for. Sonic Lost World is here. Finally, a proper Sonic game on the Wii U. Being a long-term fan of the old hedgehog, how did you find it?
Well, I'm a bit torn about this one, Hex, because it's easily the best looking Sonic game yet, especially when you're blitzing the levels in 3D. It just looks amazing. But I felt like every time I started to have a good time, I'd get blindsided by some busted gameplay. Here are some of my most frustrating moments. No. Where did that come from? Ah, come on. I made the jump. What was that? I locked onto him. not my fault. That's the game's fault. It's the game's fault.
Yeah, I know what you mean. This game is beautiful 1 minute and then just broken the next. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's rewind and explain what Lost World is about.
Affirmative.
Predictable. He must really love those things!
The dastardly Dr. Robotnik is up to his usual mischief, but just as Sonic and Tails are attempting to foil the Eggman's latest plot, they crash land on the Lost World. Things go from bad to worse for them because it turns out Robotnik has enslaved 6 monsters with the help of a magical shell that he plays like a saxophone.
Next time, bring better animals.
I do like that Sonic has some new villains, and I do like the locations in this game, but I'm going to put my whinge hat back on for a moment here because I think they've actually made Sonic a bit unlikable, and that's not on.
Hey, I've been looking for you, Baldy McNosehair. Who are your friends?
There's nothing wrong with a chrome dome, Sonic.
When it comes to gameplay, Sega has pretty much blatantly copied Super Mario Galaxy's mini planets. It may not be original, but this sort of design works pretty well with Sonic's speeds because you don't have to worry about falling off ledges.
I think the game was at its best during those early levels. They've got that classic Green Hill Zone vibe, and you can really enjoy Sonic's speed because there aren't any tricky bits, but it falls to pieces pretty quickly. Rail grinding sections like this are textbook Sonic, but they've gone and messed with it. Instead of a simple button press to switch rails, it's now really easy to miss because you have to manually judge the jump. It just kills the rhythm, and Sonic is all about momentum.
Affirmative. And I thought the enemies were especially cheap. As you'd expect in a Sonic game, your jump defeats enemies, except for these guys. Good platformers make it clear when you can't jump on an enemy by giving them spiky heads or something, but not this game.
Yeah, those bits were annoying, but they were nothing compared to the levels themselves. I mean, this is a Sonic game, so I wanted to go fast, but there were so many confusing sections. I had no idea where I was supposed to go here, so I just wandered around lost for a while until I noticed that I needed these birds to pollinate this flower.
I guess that's why they call it the Lost Worlds. Because you get lost so much.
Lost, yeah.
The developers have made some odd choices making this game. For example, why does it keep flicking between traditional 2D Sonic levels and the new 3D worlds? I think you need to go either one way or the other, 2D or 3D, or just do it better. For me, Sonic has always been fun in 2D and not really anywhere else, so I think they should just stick with that and do that really well.
Well, I don't know about that. I think the idea of 3D levels that you can't fall off are fine for Sonic. It's actually when you're moving super fast in 2D levels that you can barely see anything that's coming up next. Keep it 3D for future Sonic games, I say. Just maybe build better levels next time. What are you giving it, Bajo?
Well, I think it's another sad day for Sonic fans. This game was bursting with so much potential and didn't live up to any of it, so I'm giving it 4 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Yeah, it's a shame because the world is so detailed. I just didn't have much fun with it either, sadly, so I'm giving it 5. Oh, what are you playing?
I'm playing the DS version.
Oh, cool.
Oh, is it any good?
Hang on a sec. Hang on.
Well,
No, it isn't.
And with that, we are all out of time.
sigh.
Oh, come on, Darren, don't be a grumpy bot, because next week we've got the stud collecting madness of LEGO Marvel superheroes.
The S.H.I.E.L.D. folks think we need to formulate a careful plan of attack using... Or we just smash our way in. Good plan.
We'll need to stock up on those gaming snacks, Bajo. Until next week, may all your games be good ones. Hex out.
Bajo out.
Darren out.
You know what we should do for next week? We should dress up as superheroes.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, we could create our own. I could be like Cat Lady.
And
or
I could be Batman.
Unicorn Girl.
I could be Batman.
The Dark Unicorn. You gotta make up your own. You can't be Batman.
I could be Bajo Man.
No, you gotta make up your own. Maybe like something.
Batman Man? Batman Fan Man.
Batman Fan Man.